Hello folks, welcome back. In this tutorial, we will talk about static and non-static method. Static and non-static method. Static and non-static. So what do we mean by static and non-static method? Very simple. We can say that the method which has a static keyword is called a static method. So if you say something like public static void display, so this is the static method because it has a static keyword. If you say something like public void demo, so this is a non-static method because it doesn't have a static keyword in it. So this is static and this is a non-static and static. Now we are going to do a simple example to illustrate what is the difference between them. So we are going ahead and create an Apex class and we will name it as, let's say, static example. And in this class, we will create two different methods. One of them is static and one of them is non-static. So now we will create a method like public static void method 1, system.debug. I am a static method, and another one is public void method 2. System.debug. I am not a static method. So this is, we have created a simple example class. We have created two methods. So this is a static method because it has a static keyword, and this is a non-static method because it doesn't have a static keyword. So now we are going ahead and test it. So what happened is this static method can be directly called with the class name and the dot operator, with the class name and dot operator. So if I want to call the method 1, so I can do that. So I will say dot of method 1. And if you run this, it will run fine. Go to debug statement, it say I'm a static method. Now if you go back and if you say similarly, now if you say, we'll copy paste this and we'll say static method 2, here it will give you an error because it's not a non-static method, and so you cannot call it. So it gives you an error, non-static method cannot be referenced from a static context. So there's something wrong with it. So the difference between a static and non-static method is Static method can be called directly with the class name. But in non-static method, you cannot call directly with the class name. You need to create the object of this class to call this method. Means if you want to call method 2, you need to create the object of this class. How? So we are going to say new of static example. New of static example to create an object. And then we are going to have the reference variable because we want to control that. So we are going to say static static example e is equals to new of static example. So the remote controller is the remote controller reference variable. So now we can call this method 2. So we can say e dot of method 2. It's go ahead and run this. Otherwise, if you directly call, since it's a non-static method, it will give you an error. You need to create the object of this class to call this method. So if you run this, it's going to print two different lines. Go to debug only. So it will say I am a static method. It will say I am a static method. Because we have called this directly. Because method 1 is called directly. And another one, we have created an object of it. And then we are calling method 2. Because this is a non-static method. So it's I'm a non-static method. So please go ahead and do this example and try to get the same output. So this is what the difference between static and non-static method. So let's meet in the next tutorial. Till then, have a good day. Bye.